So today I'm going to discuss the importance of planning when it comes to dropping body fat and getting in shape. Now, the old quote of if you fail to plan, you're essentially planning to fail. And this couldn't be more true when it comes to your weight loss journey. Now, most people think they fail their weight loss journeys purely because they don't have the discipline, the willpower, or they consistently lack motivation. When the reality is they didn't have a proper structure in place and they consistently failed to plan. Now, if you think how you go about your day to day when it comes to your work, or your family schedule, everything would completely fall to shit if you didn't plan in advance. If you didn't know when you had to be at work for, if you didn't know what time your meetings were, if you didn't know when your work travel was, if you didn't know when you were picking the kids up from school or when their after school activities were, things would never work. So why would you expect anything different when it comes to planning your nutrition, getting your workouts in, and ultimately hitting your weight loss goals? You'll consistently find that you're hungry when you haven't planned in proper meals. You'll consistently find that you're missing workouts when you haven't planned them into your schedule. You'll consistently find that you're snacking on the wrong foods when you haven't planned a food shop into your week. And finally, you'll consistently fall off track when it comes to the weekend due to your lack of planning when it comes to your social events. Planning ahead ultimately removes the decision making and leads you to consistently making the right choices. Now, if you want fat loss to be simple, sustainable, and successful, you don't need to be perfect. However, you will see a significant difference if you're someone that plans their week relative to someone that wings their week. And by consistently planning things out, it will also help you to get better at navigating the unpredictable. So this is what you need to plan for when it comes to nutrition. Number one is going to be that weekly food shop, making sure you have all the appropriate foods in the kitchen ready to go. Number two is planning ahead for when it comes to your meals, not making shit up on the go and knowing at least one day in advance what you're going to be having for your 2 to 3 key meals. And ultimately, by having the right food in the house is going to make it less likely that you're going to slip up, order takeaways, or snack on random foods to help you get by the day to day. Next up is planning your workouts, ensuring that you know at least a week in advance when you're going to be doing your workouts, what days and what times. And ultimately, you're looking for the things which are going to be the most practical and the most consistent. For sure, we'd like to be that individual who's jumping up at 6 a.m. in the morning to hit the gym and get it done for the day. But the chances are, if you're going to bed late, you're already running short on sleep, that you're not going to be that early bird. So therefore, you have to look at your schedule and you have to rethink things in terms of what's actually going to be consistent and practical for you and less optimal. And finally, even things like steps need to be planned in advance. You're not just going to happen to hit your 10,000 steps in a day. 10,000 steps is going to take up approximately an hour and a half of your time. Now, unless you have a very active job or you have a long commute, and you're also going to have to break it up into small slots throughout your day. Again, if you go ahead and wing it, the chances are you're always going to fall short. Now, although initially this may seem overwhelming, once you've got better at effectively planning your nutrition, your workouts, and even your steps, it's going to remove so many unnecessary decisions away from your day-to-day, which will then allow you to think on your bigger priorities, be that work or your family. And then we come to planning for the what-if situations. So what if you wake up in the morning, you're in a rush, or maybe you forget your lunch? What are going to be your backup plan B options when you're eating on the go? Again, being one step ahead just minimizes the risk of you slipping up and deviating away of plan. Now, my most successful clients always know what they're doing at least a day in advance. So they'll have their nutrition mapped out today, ready for tomorrow. And the same will go for how they're going to go about getting their steps, what days, what times they're getting their workouts in, and ultimately learning how to plan in advance for when things change. So they will know when to scale back and set realistic expectations for when they've got a busier working week, maybe they've got a week of travel, or maybe they have more social events in the diary. The busier your weeks, the more planning and preparation that you need to do. And by getting better at this one thing, I guarantee you will help you to see consistent fat loss results on a week-to-week basis, regardless as to how busy your weeks are. And if you want more simple, realistic fat loss advice without the extremes, make sure to go follow me on Instagram at TA Fitness Online. And as always, guys, if you found this video helpful, please make sure to like and hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.